All right, let's talk about a little garden secret. One that can take your flower pots from a few weeks of color to an entire season of just non-stop blooms. It's a technique called deadheading, and honestly, it's the key to keeping your flowers looking absolutely amazing all summer long.
So, you've totally been there, right? You go to the garden center, you pick out the most beautiful, vibrant pot of petunias or marigolds. It looks incredible on your porch for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then, the fade begins. The flowers start to turn brown and get all crispy. And that's exactly when that thought hits you. I think every single new gardener has felt it, that little wave of panic where you're just convinced you've somehow ruined this perfect plant. You think the show's over, and maybe you should just toss it.
Well, hold on. Stop right there. The good news is, your plant almost certainly is not dying. It's just doing what nature told it to do. It's finishing its cycle. And the even better news? You can actually step in, interrupt that cycle, and get it to bloom all over again.
And this is where our little garden hack comes in. It's called deadheading. And I'm telling you, it's the single biggest difference between a flower bed that looks great in June but kind of sad by July, and one that is just popping with color all the way until the first frost. So what is it exactly? Well, deadheading is simply the act of cutting off the old, fading flowers from a plant. And the most important part of that definition is the phrase, before they can produce seeds. And the reason why is all about some pretty basic plant science. See, you gotta remember, plants don't make those gorgeous flowers for us. I wish they did. But their one and only mission, their entire purpose for being, is to reproduce. And the flower? That's just the tool to get the job done. Okay, let's just walk through the plant's logic here. First, it puts out a beautiful flower to attract bees and other pollinators. Then, once it's pollinated, the petals start to fall off, and the plant diverts all its energy into making seeds. As soon as it senses that seed production is underway, it's like a switch flips. The plant thinks, mission accomplished, and it stops wasting energy making new flowers. This is where we get to be clever. By snipping off that dying flower before it has a chance to make those seeds, we're basically tricking the plant. We're sending it a very clear message. Nope, you failed. Mission not accomplished. And what's the plant's response? It panics. Its biological programming just kicks right in, and it goes, oh no, I gotta try again, and rushes to push out a whole new wave of flowers. So by doing this over and over, we keep the plant in this constant, beautiful state of blooming. But look, knowing the science is only half the battle, because there is a huge, super common mistake most beginners make that basically makes all this effort worthless. Okay, this is the most important part, so listen up. Just pulling off the dead, crispy petals does absolutely nothing. See that little green bump or pod that gets left behind? That's the developing seed pod. If you leave that on the stem, the plant still thinks its mission was a success. You have to remove the entire thing, the flower and that seed pod, to send the right failure signal.
Okay, so now that we know what not to do, let's walk through the right way to do it. And don't worry, it's a super simple 3-step process. You can do it with just your fingers for most soft stem plants, or maybe a little pair of scissors for tougher ones.
First step, find the spent flower. It'll be the one that's wilting, faded, or brown. Easy enough. Second, don't just snip the head off. Follow its little stem down until you see the first set of healthy leaves, or maybe even a new little bud forming. And third, that's where you make your cut. Just pinch or snip the stem right above those leaves. This gets rid of the old flower and hides the cut, so the plant stays looking nice and tidy.
So what plants should you actually be doing this to? Because not all flowers need it, but for a whole lot of common garden favorites, this technique is a total game changer.
Your must-do list is going to include all those plants that are just determined to make seeds. We're talking about your marigolds, petunias, zinnias, geraniums, cosmos, and of course, any of your repeat blooming roses. If you stay on top of these, they will reward you all season long. Now, here's where you can save yourself some time. A lot of modern plants, like those popular wave petunias, are actually bred to be self-cleaning. They just drop their own flowers, no help needed. And then you have your once bloomers, like peonies. They give you one big, glorious show a year, and that's it. Deadheading them won't make them bloom again.
But here's a little twist. Believe it or not, there does come a time when you need to put the scissors away. As summer starts to wind down and we head into late autumn, you actually want to stop deadheading and finally let the plant complete its mission. And there are some really great reasons for this. For one, you can let those seed pods dry out and collect free seeds for next year's garden. How cool is that? Plus, seed heads from plants like coneflowers and sunflowers provide really important food for birds during the winter. And honestly, a garden full of frosted seed heads on a cold winter morning can be absolutely beautiful.
So, the big takeaway here isn't to think of this as just another chore on your to-do list. Try to reframe it. Grab your morning coffee, take a little stroll through your garden, and just spend a few quiet minutes pinching off the old blooms. It can actually become this really peaceful, meditative ritual to start your day.
It's really that easy. It's probably the simplest thing you can do to get like triple the flower power from your plants. So the only question left is, could this simple 5-minute daily habit be the secret to you having your best, most colorful garden ever? I think it might be.